video on how to walk, how to stand, and how to have a good posture. So I decided to make a video that I call the deportment video. This is going to be a series of videos dedicated to exactly that. The first part of the deportment video is dedicated on a good posture and how to walk properly. The second part will be dedicated on how to have a good stance, how to sit properly, and how to pick drop items elegantly. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out the new videos that I'll be uploading. Let's begin with the most important aspect when it comes to everything, to how you sit, to how you stand, to how you walk, and that's a good posture. A good posture is the key to mastering your presence, your overall demeanor, the way you carry yourself. So that is essentially what deportment is. You make that first impression when people see you, and 99% of that is a good posture. What are the elements of a good posture? Let's break it down and look at each aspect separately. Let's start with our head, so essentially our chin and how we position our head. Number one, make sure that you keep your head high. By high, I don't mean that you raise your neck, I mean you just keep your head high, your chin parallel to the ground. What happens is that this is a visualization technique that I have been using and teaching my students, and I think it helps a lot when you try to imagine where your head position should be. It's like you are a little marionette doll that's pulled with a string up. Sort of there's an invisible string that goes from your backbone all along the way your head. So it's in a way a balloon that keeps your head up. So there's a string attached that keeps your head all the way up to the sky. This visualization techniques make sure that you can position your head in a way that's high but not above, so exposing too much of your neck. Because when you have your head in a position like this, it makes you give a more arrogant look, which is very different from a confident look. We don't want to go for that look. And keeping your head obviously down gives you a more shy and more timid look. We are aiming for something where the chin is parallel and your head is high. Imagine yourself like a marionette doll. Number two, make sure you suck your belly in, so in a way tuck it in. I know high-waisted jeans come handy when doing that, so that's why I love high-waisted jeans. But even if you don't have them, you just have to visualize that you keep your belly in at the time when you walk, you stand, and you sit. So there's an old saying that says a man's chest should enter the room before his belly. An exception to this rule are pregnant ladies, of course, but the rest of us have to remember that we have to tuck our bellies in. That way it will help support our back and also give us a more elongated, straight posture. The third and the most important element of a good posture is making sure that you roll your shoulders backwards and drop them down. The most essential part in this is having them down. A lot of us know that we have to roll our shoulders back, and oftentimes when we roll them back, we just keep them like that, so almost up closer to our ears, which is a wrong way to do it, because when your shoulders are up, it gives you a more tense and more stressed look, which is something you're not aiming for. In order to make sure you don't have that, you have to roll them back and drop them down. That is especially important when you are walking and especially when you are standing. Of course, you have to bear in mind that you would continue having a good posture when you sit down, but that can change when you are seated down or having dinner. So a good exercise to make sure that you have your shoulders backwards and down is doing a very dramatic exercise, rolling your shoulders backwards a couple of times and doing a very dramatic drop down. That will give you that feeling where your shoulders should stand. To check if you have a good posture, try this wall test at home. Everywhere that you go, you have a wall that you can always use to test if your posture is good or not. So first, stand with your back towards the wall. Number two, make sure that the back of your head, your shoulder blades, and your buttock touch the wall. Number three, place the heels of your feet 5 to 10 centimeters. You can use your fingers to measure the distance. away from the wall. Now use your flat hand to test. If you are standing correctly, your flat hand should be able to slide just enough between your lower back and the wall. If there's not enough space, then slightly arch your lower back away from the wall to let your hand slide in. If there's too much space between your lower back and the wall, then gently tuck in your belly so that your lower back gets closer to the wall. Now you have a good posture. Walk away from the wall, but keep that posture. Anytime you feel like you lost that posture, go back to the wall. As I mentioned earlier, a good posture is very important to anything you do. The way you walk, the way you stand, the way you sit, and actually a good posture is built from early childhood on. So if you're a young adult watching this video and you don't have a good posture, make sure you start practicing now. Physical activity will help you in that. If you're a parent, I urge you to keep a close eye to your child's posture. Make sure that you have him or her stand straight at all times. Physical training, ballet, ballroom dancing will come very handy when you try to make sure that your child has a good posture. So the earlier you start, the better off you're going to be. Now let's talk about a good walk. In early 20th century, in finishing schools, girls were taught on how to walk. Finishing schools are something we refer to today as etiquette schools, but they were really more than just etiquette schools. They prepared young ladies for life after school. So what was the exercise about? The exercise was called a book on the head. This exercise was not meant to teach the girls how to have a good posture, but rather it was meant for you to feel your body, as more weight was applied on your head with a book. The idea behind this technique was if you place a book on your head and you walk practicing with the book on your head, once the book was taken off, you would be almost gliding, floating, because